Good morning, all of you. This is Rachana Saxena from Faculty of Education, Tirthankar Mahavi University. In my last lecture, I have described the role and the functions of the agencies in teacher education. Now, in the present lecture, I will describe UNESCO, from where this concept has come and how it works. UNESCO, the United Nations Educational Scientific and Cultural Organization, is a specialized agency of United Nations (UN) that was established with the aim of promoting peace, security and collaboration among nations through education, science, culture and communication. UNESCO origins are rooted in the history of the early 20th century, particularly the two world wars, which underscored the need for a global organization dedicated to foster international cooperation and understanding. This essay dives into the origin of UNESCO, tracing its development from the early ideas of international cooperation in education and culture to its formal establishment in 1945 and its subsequent evolution into a key player in global development. Early concept of international cooperation. The idea of international cooperation in the fields of education, science, and culture can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th century. During this period, the world was witnessing rapid advancement in science and technology, as well as an increase in culture, exchange, and dialogue. However, it was also a time of rising nationalism and imperialism, which eventually led to the outbreak of World War I. In the aftermath of World War I, there was a growing recognition of the need for international cooperation to prevent future conflicts. The League of Nations, established in 1919 as the part of the Treaty of Versailles, was the first international organization aimed at maintaining world peace. Although the League of Nations ultimately failed to prevent World War II, it laid the groundwork for many international institutions, including UNESCO. One of the earliest efforts to promote international cooperation in intellectual and cultural field was the establishment of the International Committee on Intellectual Cooperation (ICIC) in 1922 by the League of Nations. The ICIC, which included prominent intellectuals such as Albert Einstein and Marie Curie, was tasked with fostering intellectual exchange and collaboration among nations. It served as the precursor to UNESCO, focusing on the exchange of scientific knowledge, the promotion of peace through education, and the preservation of cultural heritage. Now, my next thing is the impact of World War II. The World War II was a catastrophic event that led to unprecedented destruction and loss of life. The war highlighted the danger of unchecked nationalism, racism, and totally reinforced the need for international cooperation and dialogue. The devastation caused by the war, particularly in Europe and Asia, created a sense of urgency to rebuild societies and prevent future conflicts. During the war, several intellectuals and policymakers began to discuss the idea of establishing a new international organization that would focus on education, science, and culture as mean to promote peace and understanding. Among them was the British Minister of Education R.A. Butler, who proposed the creation of an international bureau of education that would operate under the auspices of the United Nations, which was then being planned as a successor to the League of Nations. In 1942, representatives from the Allied Nations gathered in London for the Conference of Allied Ministers of Education (CAME). This conference marked the beginning of formal discussions on the establishment of an international organization dedicated to education and culture. The participants of CAME recognized that education could play a crucial role in rebuilding war-torn societies, promoting democratic values, and fostering international understanding. They envisioned an organization that would work to eliminate ignorance and prejudice, which had been major contributing factors to the rise of fascism and the outbreak of war. The establishment of UNESCO. The discussion and the ideas that emerged during the CAME meetings laid the foundation for the creation of UNESCO. As World War II drew to a close, the Allied nation recognized the need to institutionalize the cooperation that had been established during the war. In 1945, representatives from 44 countries met in the London for the United Nations Conference for the establishment of an educational and cultural organization. This conference, held from November 1st to 16, 1945, resulted in the signing of UNESCO Constitution on November 16, 1945. The UNESCO Constitution outlined the organization's mission to contribute to peace and security by promoting collaboration among nations through education, science, culture, and communication. The preamble of the Constitution emphasized the belief that since wars begin in the mind of men, it is in the mind of men that the defense of peace must be constructed. This statement encapsulates encapsulated the core philosophy of UNESCO, which is to build peace by fostering mutual understanding and respect among people of different cultures and backgrounds. UNESCO officially came into existence on November 4, 1946, when its constitution was ratified by 20 member states. The organization headquarters were established in Paris, France, where it continues to operate today. Early years and major initiatives. In the early years, UNESCO focused on addressing the challenges of post war reconstruction and the promotion of international cooperation in education, science, and culture. The organization launched several initiatives aimed at rebuilding educational system in war-torn countries, promoting literacy and encouraging the exchange of scientific knowledge. One of the UNESCO's first major initiatives was the development of the Fundamental Education Program, which aimed to provide basic education to people in rural and underdeveloped areas. This program was based on the belief that education was essential for social and economic development, and that it could help bridge the gap between the developed and developing world. The fundamental education program was implemented in various countries, including Mexico, Egypt, and India, and it laid the groundwork for UNESCO's later efforts in promoting education for all. Another significant early initiative was UNESCO involvement in the preservation of cultural heritage. In 1954, UNESCO adopted the Hague Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the event of armed conflict, which was the first international treaty aimed at protecting cultural heritage during time of war. This treaty was a response to the widespread destruction of cultural property during World War II, and it marked the beginning of UNESCO's long-standing commitment to the preservation of cultural heritage. UNESCO also played a key role in the promotion of scientific cooperation. The organization facilitated the exchange of scientific knowledge and research through various programs and initiatives, including the establishment of international scientific unions and the promotion of scientific education. UNESCO's efforts in this area were instrumental in fostering collaboration among scientists from different countries and in advancing scientific research in various fields. Now, the next is expansion and evolution. As the world entered the second half of the 20th century, UNESCO mandate expanded to address a wider range of issues related to education, science, culture, and communication. The organization began to focus on promoting human rights, social justice, and sustainable development. In addition to its original goals of fostering peace and international understanding. In the field of education, UNESCO launched several major initiatives aimed at promoting universal access to education and improving the quality of education worldwide. The organization played a leading role in the development of the concept of education for all (EFA), which was adopted by the international community in 1990. The EFA initiative set ambitious goal for expanding access to education, particularly for marginalized and disadvantaged groups, and it laid the foundation for the global movement towards achieving universal primary education. UNESCO also expanded its effort in the area of cultural preservation and promotion. The organization established in the World Heritage Program in 1972, which aimed to identify, protect, and preserve cultural and natural heritage sites of outstanding universal value. The World Heritage Program has since become one of the UNESCO's most well-known and successful initiatives, with over 1,100 sites around the world currently listed as World Heritage Sites. In the field of communication, UNESCO has been a long advocate for freedom of expression and the development of independent and pluralistic media. The organization has worked to promote press freedom, support the development of community media, and facilitate access to information and communication technologies, particularly in developing countries. Now, the next is UNESCO in 21st century. In the 21st century, UNESCO continues to play a vital role in addressing global challenges related to education, science, culture, and communication. The organization has aligned its effort with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), particularly Goal 4, which aim to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. UNESCO has also been actively involved in promoting education for sustainable development (ESD), which seeks to equip learners with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to contribute to a sustainable future. The organization has launched various initiatives and programs to integrate ESD into national education system and to raise awareness about the importance of sustainability. In addition to its work in education, UNESCO has continued to be a leading advocate for the preservation of cultural heritage and the promotion of cultural diversity. The organization has expanded its effort to protect intangible cultural heritage such as traditional knowledge, language, and practices, and it has promoted cultural dialogues and understanding as the means of fostering peace and social cohesion. UNESCO work in science and communication has also evolved to address new challenges and opportunities in the digital era. The organization has focused on promoting ethical standards in scientific research, supporting the development of open access to scientific knowledge, and advocating for the responsible use of artificial intelligence and other emerging technology. The origins of UNESCO are deeply rooted in the historical context of the early 20th century, particularly the experiences of the two world wars. The organization was established in response to the urgent need of international cooperation in education, science, culture, and communication as a means to prevent future conflict and promote peace. Since its establishment in 1945, UNESCO has evolved into the key player in global development, addressing a wide range of issues related to education, cultural preservation, scientific cooperation, and communication. Through its various initiatives and programs, UNESCO has made significant contributions to the promotion of peace, social justice, and sustainable development, and it continues to play a vital role in shaping the future of the world. That is all about UNESCO. In my next lecture, I will discuss another topic. Thank you so much.